you always aim in the rest of the season to at least live up to the excitement and the musical quality of opening night. And so you also try to find a program that is especially exciting, so that everybody gets really riled up for the season. And I think we did a pretty good job finding just the right music that is deep, very diverse, but also very exuberant at the same time. Andrew Norman is a young American composer in his early 30s, and I came across his piece, The Great Swiftness, just by chance, just listening to it. And something happened to me that usually doesn't happen. That is that the next day I still remember the piece. It was inspired by a sculpture in downtown Grand Rapids, Michigan. Andrew Norman asked himself, what would this sculpture sound like if it was music? And when you listen to it, it makes all of a sudden so much sense. It's all melody, it's all flowing. And so that kind of, at some point, like 30 melodies, all the same, going in the same direction, really kind of tracing the forms of the sculpture. It's phenomenal. I had never heard anything like this before. If you're looking for new music, there's still so much to be had with the old notes that we've been using for the past 500 years. You just have to arrange them in new orders and with new ideas, with new spirit, and that might be just a way to shape the future of music. So that's why Andrew Norman is just a great beginning. I've worked with Zuill before. There are many great cellists out there, but what I think he has going for him, which is very unique, is his ability to communicate with the audience. There are many people who play beautifully, but it needs a certain something to be actually able to communicate with the audience so that the audience kind of feels pulled in. And he has that thing, whatever that is. And he also communicates very well with the orchestra, always listening, always communicating. I'm very happy working with him again. And the Dvořák Cello Concerto is probably the best cello concerto there is. It is almost like a symphony with obbligato cello. There is so much melody. I mean, Dvořák had this amazing sense and ability to write melodies. It's kind of a little symphony for cello and orchestra, which is so satisfying to play and to listen to. Brahms was a kind of a mentor for Dvořák. He actually, Dvořák was not successful at first. And it was Brahms who sat on a jury to distribute some stipend. And there was this totally unknown Czech composer with these beautiful pieces that nobody had heard of. And it was Brahms, with all his connections, who jump-started Dvořák's international career. Right after the Cello Concerto by Dvořák, we're going to have Brahms Symphony No. 2. Now, that is a piece that is very, very special. And so it took Brahms a long time, over 40 years, to write his first symphony. And he labored, and there was struggle with it. And it was kind of a very substantial, almost Beethovenian symphony. This is totally different. This is a very poetic, beautiful, almost pastoral symphony. And so he was much more secure being himself, being Brahms, and not just this young guy struggling and kind of living up to Beethoven. And he was much more settled. And it's just an amazing piece of music. And I think it goes really well together with the Dvořák Cello Concerto.